Hello and welcome to See If It Sticks, the only podcast that doesn't prepare an intro before he comes on. But I do have one thing for you. A special guest this week. Ross is once again on a journey of mystical import. So we have our good friend and patron of the show, Samuel Wise.
Thanks. That was a beautiful intro. Thank you very much. Let's get on with it.
Also, Dan is here.
Hi.
How'd you like that this week?
How'd you like them apples, Sam?
I liked the honesty. You know, I think it was good. You know, you didn't prepare anything, but still,
You read your garden wood.
I liked the energy. There was a lot of energy.
There was
that's
energy.
what it's about. It's about the energy.
I can feel it pumping.
What's up, YouTube?
Yeah, I literally think I might have even got a semi. So
That's good. As long as I'm making you wet and Dan turgid, I'm happy.
I work in reverse.
yeah, do you? Okay.
Yeah.
Fair play.
Isn't turgid erect?
Yes, but I was initially hard as stone.
And then it went.
Now turgid is a step down.
Yeah.
That's the real trick for me, is to prevent me from having an erection by being so engaging and exciting that I'm not thinking about my own penis, which is what I get aroused about.
It's true. As the host this week, I have a charisma score of over 20. That's a +4 modifier, kids. Just so you know.
Hold on, can we just roll on that, please?
If only had to do 20. Nat 20. He dazzles you all. And
I've got one right here.
Have you?
Yeah.
Okay, we'll roll for it.
We'll roll for it.
All right. Okay. Can we refer to you as a dungeon master for the rest of the podcast?
No.
Oh, okay.
No, it's a different podcast. You got your dice with you?
And Dan's just searching for some.
My little bag of dice I
dice.
gave you.
Yes, Dom recently gave me a little bag of dice for
That's a D20.
for my first foray into playing Dungeons and Dragons.
Right then.
Let's
so
see.
I'm trying to dazzle you with
Charisma.
awesome charisma and energy. So that's a charisma check.
Yep.
17,
Whoa.
motherfuckers!
That's
And with my
hard.
+4 modifier, 21.
However, you do have a -30, I believe, for not wearing trousers again this week.
It's true, I'm not wearing any trousers.
I think part of that is why I had the semi. It might not have been your charisma.
It's true, seeing these chicken-like legs
Yeah.
bestriding the desk in a heroic manner.
Yeah.
It's a good thing we're not live streaming this week, isn't it?
It is a really good, it is a really good thing.
Very fortunate.
Have you had any luck in finding that other shoe as well?
No, I believe it's been lost to the nether.
Good.
So yes, anyway, shall we begin, my children?
Let's begin.
Shall we begin?
We're going to begin by reading a little some comments from our Facebook from our episode last week, where we solved the world's hole punching problem.
It's true. Did you listen?
I'm afraid I haven't caught up with that one, but I am up to date. Other than that, it was just
Up to date generally with
with
world events.
With world events, yeah. Donald Trump, he's up there. And I will listen to that podcast at some point.
Good. There will be a test.
Okay.
The
You start listening now. We'll do this podcast, then we'll come back to you at the end,
Okay.
and then you can give us your feedback on our previous podcast at the end of this one.
Right.
But you need to still contribute to this one.
Okay. We'll see how that works. It'll be a bit of podcastception, but we're
Just occasionally nod, particularly when I say something, and say yes, I agree with you.
okay.
That's basically it.
Yes, I agree with you.
And then when I say something, just say all hail. Will be fine.
All hail.
No, all hail.
I feel like I don't have that depth to my voice.
And try and do it with something on the test.
All hail.
Nice.
Okay.
Nice. No, but he seems like the one that people would be hailing now, not you.
All hail.
His one sounds like
All hail. Roll.
why when you've recently decided to introduce me to Dungeons and Dragons and got me to play my first game. Why don't you do cool voices like Sam's doing?
Well, there wasn't any call for any cool voices.
I don't know, man. You could, some gnomes appear. They happen to speak like Christopher Walken.
No. How would that sound?
Whoa, you've got level 30 charisma up your ass. Like that. Or anything.
I prefer your Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Now listen to me. I gotta get the ring of charisma. I feel like Dungeons and Dragons could be a opportunity for you to really show us your impressions.
Absolutely, yeah. Do your entire show reel.
Yeah.
What is my entire show reel?
Dom loud, Dom slightly quieter, Dom deep voice, Dom high voice,
and the guy from Jabba the Hutt's little.
I got asked to do that outside a pub the other week from a friend of ours.
Did you?
And I didn't do it.
Really? Why?
I wasn't
scared of breaking the windows again.
Yes. I was hoping. I was wondering if all the glasses on the table would have smashed.
Yeah.
Also, there was a band on, and I didn't want to draw attention away by my awesome talent.
What were they playing?
They were.
There's a 6-titted woman dancing around inside the pub.
His name was Stuart.
So Steve Wynn has launched some comments at us with regards to the hole punching problem, and he says, slab of thick timber, a drill, and 4mm drill bit. I hate hole punches. This is way better. The timber is so the bit doesn't go into the desk. Thoughts on that? Drilling.
Primitive,
Elaborate.
but effective.
Elaborate.
Very elaborate. What was our thing in the end?
The solution is that you had kind of a we had this sort of like invention which could, instead of being like a hole punch, it was like a full package. So that you bought sort of like because I think that some of the trouble is when you hole punch something is then trying to feed the actual papers onto the whatever your particular binder is. Mm-hmm. So what it was is it was an entire system. So a bit like when you bind something, I suppose, normally. So you put the paper into the folder you want it to go in, mm-hmm. and then the hole punching system has the actual ringlet things in it. So then as you close the folder, it pops through, and then you can remove the hole punching device, and then you've got a folder with the rings in it and your papers all in there.
That's a good idea.
Because then you get it all aligned in the thing, and it's all good.
I mean, it's a solution. It's a good solution. However, the drill is also a solution, but whether it is a more effective one is yet to be seen, really.
Well, maybe some laboratory testing.
I mean, I think that the important thing to realise here is that if you've got hemorrhaging on the brain, you can go into hospital and have them surgically remove pieces of your skull to relieve the pressure, and then they can, in an extremely sterile environment and an extremely precise way, can operate on your brain and your skull, or if you happen to have a brain hemorrhage while you are on the street, for example, and there isn't a hospital around and they haven't got time to get you there, you can go into the shop, buy a drill, disinfect the drill bit, and drill, as long as you don't drill too far, into someone's skull to relieve the pressure.
I believe that's called trepanning.
Now, you're essentially getting the same result from each method, but I know which one I'd prefer.
Yeah. One's cleaner than the other.
That was a concise critique.
Yeah, well, we don't muck about.
Right then. There you go. Is that all
I'm just saying, one's a little bit more elegant.
A more elegant solution for a more civilized age. Less clumsy than the drill.
Oh, great, we're back on Tatooine.
Ooba jabba wanga, pinchy nipple.
Jabba wanga.
No,
I will take you to Jabba now. Sorry.
He's not Jedi.
Oh,
Solo.
Isa Nabusa no Wookie nipple pinch.
We've got another Dungeons and Dragons character right there.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. So we've got a problem this week, and
Well, we can't stop doing impressions.
this is from new fan favourite Lardy Basto.
Who are you, Lardy Basto? Unveil yourself to the world. Take off your mask of lies.
The mystery man. In fact, I came into my office last week after we had discussed Lardy's problem on air, and on the wall was an L and a B scuffed on with a shoe.
Ooh.
A bit like Zorro.
The myth of Lardy Basto increases.
Yes. The Mask of Lardy Basto. We could do a reboot with Anthony Hopkins and Antonio Banderas.
That's true.
It's a winner. It's a winner. That's a good idea.
By the way, I know it's not particularly popular with critics, but I quite enjoy the film The Mask of Zorro. What are your thoughts on that?
I am very non-committal to those sort of films because those who know me would probably assume I enjoy a bit of swashbuckling adventure.
That is what I see when I look at you.
Yeah. But
I do think, I must say, the first time I ever met you, I thought, that looks like a man who likes pirates and such. And such being things of the ilk of Zorro or the Three Musketeers, for example.
But I can take it or leave it.
Really?
Yeah. There's not quite enough fantasy for me to feel wonder, and there's not quite enough fantastic swordplay on show for me to marvel at it. It's just all... It's... For you gamers at home, those for me are 7 out of 10 action games from Activision or Gearbox. There you go.
Yeah, I think for me, films always fit into two categories. And
good and bad. Silent and talking.
Yes, yeah, and the guy that plays the entertainer in the background. Hello. Anyway, yeah, so they fall into like movies I love and movies I will sit there and eat popcorn and watch. So like really, the popcorn movies.
There's no movies you don't like?
I would say like I can. Well, yes, actually, I saw this thing on Netflix the other day. What was it, Norbit or something like that, with Eddie Murphy in, and I literally put the controller down. I felt like I wanted to throw my TV out the window. It was that bad. So yes, no, there's 3 categories. Fucking terrible movies, and then the popcorn movies, which you can just sit and watch. You don't really have to do much thinking, you just have to enjoy it. And Zorro and those kind of swashbuckling adventures in which Dom reminds me so much of, the ones that, you know, I just think I could put some popcorn in the microwave and just have an excuse to eat it.
That's fair enough.
Perhaps.
You happy with that, Dom?
Yes.
Good.
How do you feel about Zorro?
I really like it. I would say it is in the top 5 of movies that I don't mind.
4 categories.
No, I quite like it. I think I have a bit of a soft spot for it. I quite enjoyed that film when I was younger.
Is it because he's a ladies' man?
No, it's his sexy Hispanic accent.
Hello, I am Zorro.
Yeah, no, I quite enjoyed that film. I remember renting that from Blockbuster Video when
I mean, how old is it now? It's got to be
getting up there. It's got to be like 97 or something. That came out.
Oh, okay. Let's play the IMDb game. Dan,
all right, I'm going 97.
Samwise.
I think that's a good shout. So I'm going to go 96.
You had Antonio Banderas, a young Antonio Banderas. You had young, what's her name?
Zeta, isn't it?
Yes, Catherine Zeta-Jones. And a sort of a going towards retirement age Anthony Hopkins handing over the mask and sword to Antonio Banderas.
You want to know?
Go on.
1998.
Oh, that was my second choice.
Ballpark, though.
Yeah. That was good.
Round about right. It was that sort of end of the 90s.
Yeah, there was a lot of that sort of stuff coming out as well. You know, had that. Yeah, you also had the Three Musketeers, Chris O'Donnell.
Yeah, it was the beginning of like the sort of maybe reboots can be a thing.
Yeah,
but they didn't hit on the right reboot until Batman Begins, and that opened the floodgates. And now look where we are.
Yeah. That was 2003.
Horrific, realistic Ninja Turtles.
Yeah, that was horrendous.
Okay.
I wake up screaming. That's what I've got to say. Hearing the teenage, like this sort of
they look
off
like
in the distance. Teenagers.
They looked like turds. Those ones in the live action.
Yeah.
Like green turds, don't you think? Like their shape.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, I agree.
Cowabunga.
I don't go near him with a shitty stick.
Oh, actually, funny enough, last week I went to a exclusive
stick shitting competition.
talking about
Michael Bay.
Michael Bay movies. I went to an exclusive footage event, courtesy of Paramount Pictures, to Transformers, the new Transformers movie. I saw half an hour of the new Transformers.
Dom got the freebie because he wrote a letter saying that his emotional stability had been compromised by seeing the most recent Paramount offering of Transformers. They finally got back to him and said, "We'll give you a 30-minute screening of the new one if you shut up."
But
Hush
we got
money.
Well, we got free Transformers toys.
Oh, nice.
Actual free Transformers, because I do have a little bit of a collection.
Did you say? Looks like we got ourselves a Transformer. when they gave it to you.
I did. Well, no, it was all on the seats. And I turned to Jem. I turned to Jem.
What did they transform into, Dom?
I turned to Jem and I went, "Looks like we got ourselves a Transformer." And she didn't get what I was
She was already sitting down, mate.
How was it?
Actually, Anthony Hopkins is in it.
Oh, really?
Is he still close to retirement or?
Actually, it looks like I might enjoy this one a little more because it's sort of talking about Transformers down the ages.
Right.
And they've been here all along type thing. And Anthony Hopkins is some old dapper English gentleman, obviously.
Of course.
Because in Michael Bay movies, English people can only live in castles. And there's this old World War I tank outside. And Mark Wahlberg gets pulled up in a Lamborghini Transformer, and he gets out and he goes, "Oh, that's some sort of tank or something." And then it transforms into like an old British Colonel Transformer, and it's quite funny.
Okay.
And Anthony Hopkins is a bit doolally, and he's got a butler Transformer as well.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wow.
There you go.
And it's all linked into the Knights Templar.
Right.
And the Knights of the Round Table.
And then Tom Hanks turns up and says, "I finally solved the mystery."
Yeah, and then he transforms into a giant metal bird. And
he transforms into a bigger version of Tom Hanks.
He transforms into a blocked urinary tract because that is part of Tom Hanks's contract for every film. No, have you not seen this? Have you not got this? Like Tom Hanks films, there always has to be a scene where he's struggling to piss. No, I recently read an article where they pointed out in every film he's ever been in. Forrest Gump, obviously the famous sort of scene in The Green Mile because he heals him, doesn't he?
Yeah.
And he's struggling to piss.
Yeah.
It's in everything, even Captain Phillips, I think. I am the captain now.
Right, so at what point does it happen in Forrest Gump?
He does something with pee in Forrest Gump. I can't remember what it is.
Oh, he goes, "I need to go pee."
Yes, yeah, I need to go pee. And there's this weird piss obsession with Tom Hanks.
I feel like this article has been written by someone who is piss obsessed and then is enforcing their problem on Tom Hanks.
It's like 9/11 was an inside job type.
He's got a piss contract.
Yeah. No, he's not. But no, it's a joke that he's got a piss contract.
Right,
but
okay.
there's this weird pissing thing in a lot of his films.
And you mean a weird pissing thing like people piss?
Toy Story. Where's the pissing in that?
Yeah.
Well, he's not himself in Toy Story. He's a fucking...
He's not himself in any of
Well,
those
what do you
films.
think I've got a snake in my boot means, Sam?
you know these films aren't actually just Tom Hanks like pottering around and people filming him. He's also not himself in any of those, right? He didn't really go to Vietnam or get stuck on an island.
There's a pissing scene in Castaway.
Wilson!
Oh,
Wow.
It just actually reverberated around the room.
That was
quite
beautiful.
Impressive.
Yeah.
Should we get on to the problem?
Yeah.
Yes.
As you know...
Is it Tom Hanks?
Tom Hanks is a problem. He must be stopped.
Lardy Basto. Well, the email address is tom.hanks@gmail.com, and he says, "Afternoon, guys. I'm really struggling to go for a piss." No, so
Illuminati confirmed.
this is from Lardy Basto, who again says he's from Planet Thanet. And Lardy actually wrote in a few weeks ago, and I believe you have heard that podcast, Sam, where he asked us about what the pigs will do when everyone naturally, as is the sensible thing to do, goes vegan.
Yeah.
So he has actually written in again with another sort of fairly sort of philosophical question.
He's very good with these.
Yes, it's not so much a direct silly first world problem, but sort of a interesting
Mind puzzle.
Yes. He says, he begins, as all good philosophers do, afternoon womb brooms.
Womb brooms?
Womb brooms.
Oh my.
Afternoon womb brooms.
I've never heard that one.
Cheers for sorting out the pig problem last week. Enlightening and entertaining as always. Thanks, Lardy.
Thanks, Lardy.
Got another little tickler for you. Now, it is scientific fact that everyone plays pool, darts, temping bowling, etc. better after a couple of pints. You know it, I know it, the world knows it. It's a given. So, should this be applied for driving? No, of course it shouldn't. Stupid idea. Anyway, when someone finds a cure for cancer, does it become socially acceptable to smoke again, or would that make it morally questionable? Discuss, mighty peeps.
Well, the whole point is that you might have cancer in the first place because you smoke. So you're depleting the stock of cancer cure by smoking, potentially. Because some people can go smoking their entire lives and never get cancer.
Yes.
But I don't know. This is a hard one.
I think what we need to do initially is possibly define what we mean by cure for cancer. Because...
Well, I think it means a full-on cure.
Well, so you get cancer, you go, look, I've got cancer, cure me. And then you walk out.
So this is where the sort of problem lies, isn't it? Because some people, when I actually sort of brought this up with Maddie over the weekend, some people will get quite nasty symptoms or don't realise that they have got cancer for quite a long time. Yeah, some people go for years, maybe untreated. So I suppose what we have to kind of assume here is that it's like some sort of like almost like a cancer vaccination.
Okay.
Do you sort of see what I mean? So
like we're inoculated against polio and
and cancer, which would obviously be, I suppose, be the ideal way to go with curing cancer. I know it doesn't quite work like that, but I suppose it's
eradicate it before it's there.
Yeah, I mean it's a mutation in cells, isn't it? So if you can stop allowing cells to mutate,
some sort of genetic stabilization agent,
something, something along those lines.
Brains just fucking...
God, I could just see the protesters. No GM babies.
Yeah.
No GM people.
Yeah. Not that we have, got the entire planet's worth of fucking plants and life because of genetic modification or anything. Just over a longer period of time with evolution and crossbreeding and blah, 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 blah. It's exactly the same, but never mind. We're not here to talk about my thoughts on GM crops. Which, by the way, I'm all for.
It's a hot button topic.
Yeah, well, I mean, also, cancer is something that is spread throughout not just humanity. Dogs get cancer, cats get cancer. It's a very, and I've, apart from the odd painting, I've never really seen a dog smoke. So I think that it could be caused by, it's quite a natural thing. And I mean, is that something we would also give to dogs and cats? Would we try and eradicate the whole of mammals, getting cancer?
I think probably... Yeah, I think you probably would, wouldn't you, if you could afford it? Yeah,
if you could, if your pet's about to, if you don't want a pet that's going to die of cancer, but then, if it's something that's
robot dog.
The robot dog. Well, we know that's around the corner. So, I mean, they already sell them.
Bark, bark, motherfucker.
Yeah, I mean, even you could have a whole discussion whether curing cancer is even, I mean, obviously it's a great thing to do. Hands down, we need,
Do
that
people
needs
say
to be
that's
done.
not possible?
I don't know if people
It's
say
very
that.
different for different types of cancer because
That's because that's the problem, isn't it? They're all their own unique situation.
Yeah. But I mean, ultimately, it all does come from a mutation of cells, but they all sort of present themselves and act in different ways and things like that. But of course, like the sort of the thing is that if you stopped genetic mutations, then you are essentially stopping any potential for a next stage of evolution.
That's true.
Because they think that through mutations from sort of like space, like cosmic rays, they think
Become
that
the Fantastic Four.
we've this is how we've got to being such an advanced species.
Cosmic rays.
Yeah. So obviously, like when you get a tan or you get sunburn, that is,
Cosmic power.
it's that is particles from our sun hitting our cells.
Yes, I know how it works. Yeah.
Yeah, and like essentially what it's doing is it's damaging the DNA in your cells.
It's like really low level radiation, isn't it?
Yeah. So basically, your tan or your sunburn is your skin killing itself so that it doesn't get mutated anymore. Because obviously, if you continue to get mutated, you get skin cancer.
My man Dan Haw went on a summer holiday to Tenerife. After being exposed to cosmic rays, he became slightly tan Dan. Hello, ladies. I'm a bit bronzed.
my superhero outfit would be 1993 David Hasselhoff pink orange beach swim shorts.
Yes. And a linen shirt, white. And you would only get much traction up north.
Or in Germany.
Yeah. Like the Hoff himself.
Indeed.
Yeah. So I mean, essentially, if you're stopping all like genetic mutation, you're essentially possibly like ceasing any leaps in evolution.
What do you think the next stage of human evolution will be?
Well, we kind of know the next stage of human evolution. The next stage of human evolution seems to be that we're losing our wisdom teeth.
I was thinking something a bit more glamorous, like wings or some form of prehensile sex organ. But
what do you mean? That's what I just said, wasn't it?
We're losing our wisdom teeth.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I was sort of thinking like the next sort of where we become slightly unrecognisable to ourselves.
They reckon like it's not really possible for us to evolve.
They say it will be a
further.
divergence, apparently,
because
in the future.
Because like we're all so travelled, and there's no independent like race of humans that are tackling anything,
Well, this is why we need to go up to the stars.
Well, I think that'll probably be the next next thing.
An evolution to a spacefaring race.
Yeah, and then who knows?
Maybe. I mean, I'm not saying that we're gonna move off of this planet onto another one, because I think that is probably for now a little bit far fetched. Given I mean, ultimately, even if you were going to move somewhere in our solar system, it takes a long time to get there. So how do you get materials there to build? If we are fortunate enough that we've got a lot of the materials that we can use to build
Take your maths head off for a minute and just imagine we've managed to do it.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm in my Imaginarium.
You're in your Imaginarium. Yeah. So in one of a science fiction series I enjoy, that's actually based on the French novels about the character Arsène Lupin, the Master Thief. I don't know if you've ever heard. It's quite a famous character. And this guy, doesn't matter what the story is, read it. It's called The Fractal Thief. It's all based around maths. You'd like it.
Sounds good.
Maths and like really high level like computer languages and shit like that.
I think you've recommended me this before.
Basically, like Mars is like a society of privacy addicts.
Right.
And they have this system called the oubliette, which is almost like a living, breathing social network, where they go around and you can trade gestalt or like parts of yourself. So when you go into a shop, you see the shopkeeper smiling and, you know, giving you the base level of customer service you would require, but you don't get to see their other facial features, any information about them, other than the information that pertains to your transaction.
Okay.
You know, and you can share more and more, and some people go around, you never see them at all. You can sort of wipe yourself from people's perception.
Okay.
Anyway, that's neither here nor there. So that's one thing, you know, a cognitive shift. But then there's like sort of a group of humans that live in the Oort cloud, which is the sort of furthest part of particulate matter outside our solar system.
Okay.
And they've because they live in they've adapted to 0G. They're really long, and, sort of willowy and sort of weigh nothing, bird bones, that sort of thing. So that's the sort of thing I envision in the far future.
I mean, as soon as you put something different in your
an obstacle needs
environment,
to be overcome.
yeah, exactly. I mean, and maybe perhaps that will happen. You know, maybe that's what cancer is. Maybe that's something that will force us to evolve, and then we can smoke all the cigarettes we want.
And like one of the other things a lot of sci-fi deals with is like the closer you get to relativistic speeds, the longer your life is, because you're experiencing time at a different
relative to someone else.
Yeah, relative to someone else. Yeah. So a journey that you perceive to take 6 months in actual your time has taken 100 years of a planet's time,
Earth time,
of like a Terran time, and like you are perceived to live thousands of years, but actually you just live the human standard, but relative to you,
traveling at the speed of light.
Interestingly, it is the change. It's the change of speed, which causes that effect, I believe. So if you travel for 100 years, if it takes you 10 seconds to accelerate, like let's go exaggeration, like a sort of like a sci-fi, Star Wars, Star Trek kind of thing, right? It takes you 10 seconds to go from 0 in your spaceship sitting just outside the planet's atmosphere to 99.9% of light speed. And then it takes you 10 seconds to decelerate from that back to 0 again at your destination. It's the acceleration and the deceleration that like causes that all stems from.
And also, it's because, which is really amazing, which I find amazing, is it's nature's way of stopping anyone from travelling past the speed of light. So you reach like, let's say 1 miles per hour or whatever, 1 light year per hour under the speed of light, and then nature actually creates a different time frame within whatever capsule you're in. Because if, say, you were travelling at that speed and then there's someone running down the capsule, they would technically be breaking the speed of light because they are travelling with that and then accelerating themselves. So it creates a way in which time is relative to the vessel you're travelling in. And
for you listeners at home whose brain hasn't
also
gone out of your head.
Also worth noting that we only refer to it as the speed of light because we think that photons, which are the particles of light, have
and a wave
have no mass. So as a massless object, obviously, if something has mass, then it has sort of
inertia.
Where it has gravity. It warps gravity according to
its schemes.
General relativity. I was going to say, but
its schemes.
So, it's basically c, speed of light in inverted commas, is actually just the cosmic speed limit, but because photons appear to have no mass, that's not actually, they could find out that it's got some tiny, like infinitesimal amount of mass.
I like the word infinitesimal.
It's nice, isn't it? We could discover that in future, but at the moment, as far as we can tell, we can only be so precise at the minute. Photons don't have any mass, so it means that with no mass, they can travel at the cosmic speed limit. So it just so happens that the speed of a photon actually equals the cosmic speed limit.
Yeah, that's nice. I like that. I like that because it stops you from thinking so human about I don't know about it down the road, but it stops you from thinking of it in such a human way, doesn't it? But in the fact that the thing we can measure is light, or we can't measure, but it's the fastest thing we can see, and because it has no mass, we believe it can reach this limit.
Yeah,
but actually, it could turn out that limit is still not reached by anything.
But it's crazy. Like I tell you, the fact that always totally mind fucks me is that if I was running at the speed of light and I had a flashlight in my hand and I turned the flashlight on, right? The kind of, when you think about that in your head, it's like, I could get in front of the beam or something, or I would be running at the speed of the beam, so the light would never come out. But what it would actually be doing is it would be travelling away from me at the speed of light. Even though I'm running at the speed of light, the light is still travelling away from me at the speed of light.
And that's why you can't run at the speed of light.
As you can hear, I'm experiencing my death right now.
But also, you could really go back in time and stop Reverse Flash from killing your mother and then fuck up the timeline.
That's the important shit.
Yeah, that is the important shit.
I'm going to go back in time and get him to kill my mum because I want to become the Flash.
Actually, funny enough...
Oh no, a paradox!
Actually, another thing this book does do, and it's another thing, one of my ideas of the next stage of human evolution, is also post-singularity.
Right.
Okay.
But the singularity is a bit sinister because it's this cabal of they were like top bankers and corporate, and also fantastically brilliant scientists, like 12 or so people that initiated this singularity, and worldwide cults sprung up where you could ascend and stuff like that. And basically all they did with all this human consciousness was clone themselves into it. So they use all this processing power they've drawn from the human consciousness they've uploaded into their own what do you call it on a hard drive? Sector. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, okay.
Without and basically all the little
partitions.
bits of human consciousness are like their goggles, like their clues.
Right.
Their CLEUs. They're basically their RAM.
Right.
So
they run themselves off of.
They run themselves off of.
Weird, yeah.
Yeah, it's cool, man. It's cool, and they live in giant diamond processing brains like near Saturn. It's awesome.
Wow.
Because obviously they need to get rid of all that heat somehow.
This is cray.
It's awesome, man. And also, but at the same time, it's like a heist story.
Okay.
It's like a classic heist story.
Yeah.
It's really good.
I'll have to.
I'll send you the links.
Yeah, do it.
It's called like the Fractal Prince and like something like, it's all like mathematics terms, Quantum Thief and stuff like that.
So back to the question.
I'm sure they cured cancer in that book as well.
Probably. We've cured cancer, effectively stopping any jumps in human evolution, but that's okay because we're okay. We're all right. We're pretty well adapted. Apart from we need to get rid of those bloody wisdom teeth. God damn those wisdom teeth.
Fucking wisdom.
Well, I guess you two are smokers.
We are.
I am a former smoker.
Would you go back to smoking if it became
I probably wouldn't, because I have grown to not like the taste of cigarettes.
But you do still like the smell when I'm rolling up a cigarette.
I like the smell of your tobacco when you roll a cigarette. Yeah, that is a sweet, lovely smell. That smoke. Ooh, yeah. But the minute you start smoking it puts me right off. And I can smell now when people have had a cigarette, which I never used to be able to do. I probably wouldn't go back to it, but I think there are times where if it was completely risk-free, I mean, I think the other problem is with smoking as well, isn't it, is that there are other consequences. It's not just cancer. It is like, other forms of lung disease and heart trouble and things like that.
And also the fact that,
the erectile dysfunction.
Dysfunction that we all experience while smoking.
Yeah, I think that is the problem, isn't it?
Later on in life.
Yeah, I suppose it's a bit like, also, it's, firstly, it wouldn't stop people smoking. People smoke even though it does give you cancer.
Yeah.
But should they? Should anyone smoke it anyway? Probably not. But say we can cure cancer, we
have the technology.
Yeah, someone's gone out of their way for that. Would the smokers be I suppose they wouldn't be able to tell if it was like genetically modified, like if you were given the vaccine, it wouldn't matter, but should you give that cure to them?
Well, this is the question about should you give gastric band surgery to fat people or something like that,
Well,
it's that sort of question, isn't it?
What about like me though? Because
you're an expert.
There are sort of there are like I'm an ex-smoker. So do I get the cure for cancer because I have?
Well, I think so. Yeah.
I have but then what about because there are some situations where I picture myself still with a cigarette. I smoke e-cigarettes now, but when I go on holiday in the summer, I don't know anything other than going on holiday and having a beer and a packet of cigarettes next to my pool lounger.
Oh my god!
And there's nothing. And in my mind,
there's literally nothing better than that.
In my mind, there's nothing like it. Being out in the sun, sitting by a pool, having a cigarette, and having a beer. So I don't.
God, man, you made me want to go somewhere sunny.
Yeah, but
and just be just keep on filling up this glass and keep on bringing me packs of cigarettes.
Well, that's the thing.
A good book.
Yeah, yeah. If in my mind, I know it's sort of, you're looking at it with rose tinted glasses on. It's just because you're having a good time there that seems so appealing to you. Yeah. And I won't be smoking because I haven't smoked in 2 years now. But
is it 2 years?
Oh yeah.
Then you haven't even had one.
Nope.
Really? Not even in the depths of really bad drunkenness.
No, I had that. I rolled that one and started smoking it when we were in Gibraltar 2 years ago, when we were outside that bar.
Yes.
Because
didn't you have? You've had a couple of cigars though. At
special occasions. I've had cigars at special occasions, yeah, but I haven't had a cigarette. I had about a week. The first week I was trying to give up. About 5 days into it, I took the pouch of tobacco out of my pocket while I was just pottering around the house. And by the time I reached the front door, I rolled a cigarette. Just without thinking, because that's what I do every day and had done for the last 10 years. But then I went to smoke it and it tasted like shit. And then
And you stop.
Yeah, I literally lit that and that was about it. And then I had that one, which was about a month or so into me quitting when we were in Gibraltar. And as you know, I didn't even finish the cigarette because it tasted like
rancid old granny vagina.
Yeah, it's not nice. Yeah, I haven't. That was the last cigarette I ever smoked.
There you go.
Or tried to smoke. But yeah, I mean, so the thing is, if. Well, yeah, I mean, it's the trouble is the other things, it's the other ramifications of smoking.
I mean,
I'd be sitting sitting by the pool with no sun cream on at this point. It doesn't matter.
But I mean, my view on it is: should people smoke? No. Should people smoke if there's a cure for cancer? Definitely not, because I mean,
You're taking a piss.
yeah, you're taking a piss. But like,
Do you know what? I think
it's
that's
not gonna
probably what
stop
made me
people.
give up smoking. If they came out with a cure for cancer and say they wouldn't say no to people, but they'd be like, the moral implication of it would make me stop.
Yeah.
but also it'd be a little bit unfair, because if they did come up with it, and the only way to do it was like a genetic modification within, let's say, before the fetus is at full like gestation or whatever, then there'd be all these people like still dying of cancer, and all these like humans that were then immune, and we'd all look at them going, "You bastards," and they'd all be there with their cigarettes.
Yeah, but they could still die by falling from a tree,
Yeah, but I
being
mean,
kicked by some sort
we
of
just
animal.
look at all these perfect human
Having
beings.
their face bitten off by my wisdom tooth.
Yeah, where's your wisdom teeth? Yeah, no, but I don't think people should smoke regardless, even though I do, but personally.
Well, then.
So that's a no then. We're not making it socially acceptable. We're saying it's probably your moral obligation if we're curing cancer to actually quit. That is, even though they are saying that the likelihood of you dying from doing it is reduced, you should not abuse that power. With great power comes great
and also it's
responsibility.
then it would then be like smoking gives you heart disease, and then they cure that. I mean, eventually, smoking will be permissible, because
But then by
we'll
that
all be
point, do you not
giant
think medical
brains.
technology would have developed to a point where we can just excrete the thing we want to make us high?
Yeah, just inject nicotine straight into your brain.
Just be like, we'll have an extra gland in our body where we
nicotine
just store
gland.
like fucking drugs.
But the problem is,
it'd be like, I really, really want to space out for half an hour. You just go,
the problem is though is it's not actually like, I don't know about you, but it's not the nicotine kick that the reason I took up e-cigarettes is because I don't know what to do with my hands anymore. Like the last time I didn't have something in my hands, I was less than 15 years old.
yeah. Well, it's a habit forming thing.
Yeah, I mean, and also, the thing is, I know that it gets demonized now, but like without any doubt, smoking, particularly in like movies from the 60s, looks cool as shit.
It does, yeah.
It's not big and it's not clever, Dan.
There is nothing which punctuates a conversation better than having a cigarette in your hand. You can't do it with an e-cigarette. It looks like you're about to hit someone with it.
It's true. It looks like you're about to assault someone with a deadly weapon.
Yeah. I read a whole book on punctuating conversations with cigarettes. Remember that time?
Was that why you were on the beach with no suntan lotion, with a pack of cigarettes and a beer?
Here he comes, slightly downtown.
No, that's great. I agree. But I just think, with a cure for cancer comes great power, and with that comes great responsibility.
Yeah. Okay. I'm with you.
Solved.
We're saying no. We're saying no to smoking.
Just say no, as Graham Shield
I think
said.
I'm going to go home now and readdress my life of smoking.
So, we need a name. I'm going for Slightly Tan Dan.
Okay.
Got any ideas? The fag point paradox.
I don't think it would let us have that because that's just a strictly British term, isn't it? For those listeners of ours in California that we have,
another word for a cigarette. In
Fags
England.
and cigarettes.
yes.
Yes. Not a homosexual gentleman.
Filter out the bad stuff? No.
You idiot.
Why did we even invite you on this?
No, you've done a good job. That's right. Those 3 books are The Quantum Thief, The Fractal Prince, and The Causal Angel by Hanu Rajaniemi. He's Finnish.
Okay.
Name.
Oh, I can't think. Slightly turned Dan's mine.
Name.
Are you saying slightly tanned or slightly tanned?
Slightly tanned Dan.
Slightly tanned Dan.
Swashbuckling swashbuckling smokers. The mask of
Travelling at the speed of lighter.
oh, wonderful there, Daniel.
That's stupid joke. We're laughing at that.
Travel at the speed of lighter. Yeah, I like it. Slightly tanned Dan.
You get the casting vote because you're the guest.
So it's between slightly tanned Dan and travelling at the speed of lighter. Are they the two? Right.
I think so, yeah.
Well, I'm gonna go out and have a cigarette, and then I'll decide.
Or
let's do a
roll a d4.
that's the
The
D4.
pyramidal
Yeah.
one.
Pyramidical.
If it rolls on a 1 or 2, I'll get it. If it rolls on a 3 or 4, Dan gets it.
And it's the number at the top, isn't
number
it?
at the top of the point.
So if you get 1 or 2,
Yeah, it's me.
yeah.
Yeah. Should have rolled a d20 for this, really.
It's a 3.
is that me?
Yeah.
Travelling at the speed of lighter. Okay.
The relativistic journeys of See If It Sticks.
Yeah.
Bracket.
Travelling at the speed of light, slightly turned Dan's journey through space and time.
It's got to be that, isn't it? Is that too long?
I like that.
Fine. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Travelling at the speed of light, slightly tanned Dan's
Journey through space and time.
journey through space and time.
Bogus.
Excellent.
Excellent.
Hey, Socrates.
So how can people get in touch and
You
stuff?
gonna round this up, Dom?
Perhaps. Or perhaps not. So, if you would like to get into contact with us here at the bastion of philosophical and scientific discussion that is See If It Sticks, you can go to our website, stickitpod.com. It has links to all of our social media pages, including our Bebo and MySpace profiles from 2004 and 2005.
Sadly, Club Penguin has just closed down,
So,
so we've had to cancel our account on there.
But Habbo Hotel and Neopets is still going strong. So there we go. You can email us all of your problems at flingit@stickitpod.com. Please add images, perhaps nudes, or videos of your problem. Please get in contact with us. Your content generates this show. So if you enjoy this show, fling us something at stickitpod.com. But it's flingit@stickitpod.com, just to remind you. If you want to call Dan, his number is... only call him between 2 and 3 in the morning on weekdays. And for this week, that has been See If It Sticks. I have been your starry-eyed host, Dominic Alexander.
And I have been your starry-eyed guest, Sam Wise.
And I've been your guide through the solar system, Dan.
Hooray. Yo!